because the Trump administration is also, in fact, facing the heat of US senators over Yemen's war plan chat leak. What is the story about? The officials have testified on threats posed by international criminal gangs, drug cartels and human smuggling. Now, the hearing comes amid a growing controversy over a security breach in which senior officials allegedly shared military strike plans for Yemen in a secure chat group, and believe it or not, this secure chat group had a journalist. The revelations have sparked intense debate over national security, protocols and intelligence handling within the administration. Now, this is the latest controversy coming in. There is a lot of storm over the story in the United States. Some reactions coming in. Let's listen in.
I want to go back to what I addressed at the outset. I mean, this was not only sloppy, it not only violated all procedures, but if this information had gotten out, American lives could have been lost. The Houthis had this information, could reposition their defensive systems. So I want to get a little more information about this. Director Gabbard, did you participate in the group chat with Secretary of Defense and other Trump senior officials discussing the Yemen war plans?
Senator, I don't want to get into the specifics.
Ma'am, were you on? You're not going to be willing to address. So you're not. Are you denying? Will you answer my question, ma'am? You were not TG on this group chat.
I'm not going to get into the specifics.
So you refuse to acknowledge whether you were on this group chat?
Senator, I'm not going to get into the specifics.
Why are you going to get into the specifics? Is it because it's all classified?
Because this is currently under review by the National Security Council.
Because it's all classified? If it's not classified, share the text now.
As the White House previously stated,
is it classified or non-classified information on this text?
I can confirm.
Director Radcliffe, were you on the group chat?
Senator, I was on a signal messaging group.
So you were the John Ratcliffe on that chat?
I was.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I provide some context, Senator, to that?
Yes, but I've got a series of questions.
Well, but I think it's important because at the outset you made a couple of comments about signal messaging using encrypted apps. So that we're clear, one of the first things that happened when I was confirmed as CIA director was signal was loaded onto my computer at the CIA, as it is for most CIA officers. One of the things that I was briefed on very early, Senator, was by the CIA records management folks about the use of signal as a permissible work use. It is. That is a practice that preceded the current administration to the Biden administration.
Director Ratcliffe, I've got a series of questions. If you're making the statement, the statement, the signal is a secure channel.
No, can I answer that? It is.
I've got a series of
end-to-end decryption. So to finish,
I understand encryption.
It is permissible to use to communicate and coordinate for work purposes, provided, Senator, that any decisions that are made are also recorded through formal channels.
You watched that entire confrontation, that grilling. Democrat senators have grilled CIA Director and National Security Director Tulsi Gabbard during the Senate hearing. You watched that sequence. You saw what happened. They've called it a sloppy and incompetent handling of something that's as important as national security. However, the National Security Council has assured that it will look into how a journalist's number was added to the chain in the Signal chat group. Is Signal now a new platform for the US administration to discuss and share classified information with regards to war plans? How did Donald Trump look at this development? What is Donald Trump saying on the matter? Listen in.
Mr. President, are you going to change any of the practices that your national security officials used after a reporter was inadvertently added to a group chat about attacks on Yemen?
Well, I think it's a question I've been asked now, and I've given a few answers, and they've all been the same. We have an amazing group. Our national security now is stronger than it's ever been. We have had a very, very successful, numerous attacks on that area. These are people that shoot down ships, not only our ships, ships all over the world they're shooting down right out of the water and damaging them badly, or they're going down. They're also shooting anything that happens to be flying in the area. We hit them very, very hard. There was no classified information, as I understand it. They used a app, if you want to call it an app, that a lot of people use, a lot of people in government.
Srinjoy Chaudhary is joining us. Srinjoy, isn't this baffling? Imagine, here's a country which boasts about being the most powerful, which talks about having the world's most strongest intelligence and military apparatus, and now we get to know Signal is used as a platform to discuss one, classified secrets. Number two, there is a journalist present in that, and then these kind of classified information is discussed, and then everyone finds out, oops, there's been a leak. What exactly is happening?
Well, first of all, the use of Signal, assuming that Signal is safe, even then, to talk about it is also unnecessary. If you are using Signal, be quiet about it. And then to add a journalist, even if it's by mistake, is a clear breach of security. That's the second thing. Thirdly, after all of that, you have the president saying, this is no breach of security. You heard the Democrats actually finding a chink in the Republican armor, in the Trump government's armor. And what are they saying? That the lives of American soldiers and sailors and airmen would have been at risk because the Americans, as Trump himself said, have been hitting the Houthis hard. If you're going to hit the Houthis hard, then what happens is that you use your soldiers and sailors and whatever. Even if you're using missiles, someone has to fire them from somewhere, right? So as a result, this could create problems for American servicemen, is the point being made. Now, if that is so, then this is the first time, I think, in years and years, that such a thing has happened. The fact that what is going to happen, an operational plan, has been put in the public domain. Now, how can you put an operational plan in the public domain?
Srinjoy, I want you to stay with us because we also have Ambassador Deepak Vora with us. Ambassador Vora, US talks about, bringing the world together to counter, say, global terrorism. They have plans for it. There are meetings. There is a lot of conversation. How can the world trust the United States when the CIA cannot secure one of its own chats? It's absolutely unbelievable that there was a journalist present in one of these groups where military secrets are discussed so casually. Ambassador Vora, if you could just unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I just heard what Sujan Saab said. He's outstanding, and it's absolutely brilliant, his analysis. Let me tell you three things. You're a journalist, and I've been one for longer than you've been on this planet, when I was doing Doordarshan. Why are we bad fellows? There was a journalist on this, as though we're the devil's representatives on. Are you? So what if there was a journalist on the group? Second thing, social media. Do you use it for security reasons? Let me assure you, in India, we don't. In my own ministry, Ministry of External Affairs, and 70 other agencies, I shall not name them, we don't permit mobile phones inside. We are very, very careful about security. We probably have the best system going in the world. And the third thing, ma'am, how do you know this information is genuine and that it's not a false flag operation? Countries have done this. I'm not saying we've done it, but yes, you use it sometimes to disorient people. However, assuming that it is true, then it's a breach that is quite inexplicable. And I certainly hope and trust, and I'm sure the Americans will also have a plan B as we do, so that this will be abandoned and something else will come in its place. Nevertheless, it points to the seriousness with which the Red Sea, red is the color of blood, that issue is being taken by the world, and that the Houthis now have to be taught a lesson.
So now this is a story about war plans of the United States being discussed on an app Thank you so much. And there's a presence of a journalist. We're talking about a leak. There is a lot of grilling that's happening in the United States. Thank you so much, Ambassador Vora and Srinjoy Chaudhary, for joining us with the analysis. With that, we're taking a short commercial break.